All right, all right. Looks like I'm live. I think. Let me take a little second. Make sure I'm live and everything. All right, all right. You have to check, make sure everything is good. See, y'all hear the same music y'all always hear. I hear Naruto music playing in real life, like in the room with me. But y'all can hear it. Okay, anyway, listen. New One Piece chapter. I'm a little late. Starting it today. Got a little bit of lag and delay in the stream. It's okay. You can still hear me. We're gonna read this. Okay, hold on. Just making sure everything good. I can't start doing the stream. The shit falling apart. Think we're good. So let me start off like I always do, right? By mentioning, I've seen a couple of spoilers. I didn't want to. I wasn't looking for them, but I seen a couple of spoilers, okay? In general, I seen, something about Rocks and his new goal. I was kind of right. I was half right. Last chapter, I was half right about him having a kid and all that already. So, I was dealing with that. And I seen something about Garling, okay? Let me just say that. I seen something about Garling. We're going to see all the details right now, though. So chapter 1159, Island of Fate. All right. And Yamato, we all knew that Yamato was going to be she's going to go on a journey with Oti and Page One. And Oti and Page One, they basically a part of her crew, basically. I don't know if she's making a crew officially. I don't know. But if she were to make a crew or a gang or whatever she, whatever, trying to be, she's trying to be Odin, then yeah, Oti and Page One's on the crew, all for it, okay? So, Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage, Volume 41. Time to munch on apples and return to the flower capital. So, Yamato's, her joint going on for a long time, bro. She been trying to get back to the capital, journeying across all of Wano for a minute. Okay, so 39 years ago, we getting closer to Hachinosu, bro. I mean, God Valley, right? We getting closer to God Valley. So let me see this. They had Hachinosu right now. Okay. It said, okay, hold on. Damn, there's a lot of shit going on right here. Okay, it said Don Marlin was on last night's security team. They've all been killed. So even Don Marlin couldn't keep her safe. It's unthinkable. Who could have done this? So Hachinosu got attacked. Somebody attacked Pirate Island. They killed people. They said even Don Marlin couldn't stop her. I don't know who was Don Marlin. I don't know who Don Marlin. Actually, no, I have seen him. No, we did see him. Don Marlin, yeah, he's on the Rock's crew, right? So they say, yo, even Don Marlin couldn't stop it. Rock said, what did you say? Arshaki's been kidnapped? So even though Rocks ain't probably, he got somebody else, whatever, there's still the island. Shaggy's, she the island treasure, you know what I'm saying? They said the crime happened within a window of just a few hours. Okay, boom. But without any clues to solve the mystery. Okay, oh no, yeah, he definitely sold Shaggy off, bro. What's his name? This ugly dude right here. I forget his name. The ugly dude who's like, he's Wapo's, not Wapo. God damn it, what is his name? The dude with the mud fruit kidnapped Shirahoshi. That's his like father. He definitely sold Shaggy off. And Gloriosa crying, everybody crying, niggas is breaking down like, no, why they crying? They said the pirates can only wail and gnash their teeth in anger. They said, please be safe, Shaggy, please be safe. Yes, who's this, Rocks? Oh no, this Roger. He said, damn it, Rocks, what are you doing over there? I'll tear you to pieces. He mad as fuck. Roger mad as hell. So Roger heard about this shit. I thought that was somebody else. His sword looked like a katana. Oh, I don't know. Oh wait, no, never mind. I see the guard. It's definitely Rocks' sword. Okay, he said the new swiftly crossed the seas. Okay, even Rayleigh found out. He said, Shaggy. They said smiles vanished from the faces of all the crestfallen people. And it was said that all economic activity around the world went stagnant for weeks. Like, Shaggy get kidnapped. Niggas stop living for like a couple of weeks. Everybody is just the hurt across the world. That's crazy. And then, what's crazy, right? Like an event like this, it's funny how Oda never, ever told us about this. I gotta mention that later. He never told us about this. An event like this is something that you would imagine will be like a legend, you know what I'm saying? Everybody would know about this shit. Just like how people knew about Rocks, or just knew that Rocks existed, or knew that Roger existed. Wouldn't you know about this too? It's like, bro, she was big news. She was definitely big news, okay? So niggas stopped living for weeks. Economic problems and all of that. Everything stagnated. That's crazy. I gotta blow the chapter up. It's a little small. So after Shaggy got kidnapped. Oh, she was kidnapped for a year? What? So 39 years ago, she got kidnapped. 1 year later, it says, oh, I've messed up my chapter somehow. What happened? Oh boy, okay, I messed something up. Okay, whoa, okay. Here we go. So 1 year later, God Valley, West Bloom. Garland come back home. She said, oh, Garland, I'm so happy to see you. She said, I always believe you'd come back. Shamrock Shanks is your father. Garland's just saying something, I guess, right? He's standing there. He said, oh, you had twins? They're adorable. She said, yes, they're yours. Now you can live here with me. And we see the babies there. He said, oh, if they're living anywhere, it won't be here. This island will cease to exist soon. And he's just saying this shit with a smile, bro. Yo, I thought he was happy for the kids and shit. Like, oh, yeah. Honey, I'm home. I thought he was happy as hell, but no, okay. Okay, he said, and I've already special ordered a wife who's befitting of me. What? All I have to do is to make her mine is win this competition. They said competition. And then he just stabs the shit out of her. What? Begin the preparations. Whoa. Yes, sir. Disembarking now. Whoa. Okay. The world government's Navy ships are here. They've got the whole island surrounded. Is there a wanted criminal? Is there some wanted criminal on this island? Bring the children indoors. Only use tranquilizer rounds. Whoa. Okay. The Navy, they're not trying to kill nobody, right? But they running up in here. This is how they initiate their slave activities, right? They run up in here with massive like forces. They got like a whole lot of people. Everybody got a tranquilizer gun. Everybody strong, like, you know, everybody, you know, they knocking people out, capturing them. They wake up in a cell, being put up in a game, a slave hunting game or some shit. Like, that's what's about to happen probably. Cause that, yeah, hold on. This shit getting crazy. Hold on. They said only use the trank rounds. Apprehend those who don't resist. Yep, they capturing everybody. Okay, okay, yeah, I knew it, right? So this is Dragon. I know that's Young Dragon, right? That's Young Dragon. That's 100% Young Dragon, right? And I always thought, like, yo, after we found out Dragon was on the Navy, I always thought, yo, he had to have like been a part of something, like one of these raids, one of the slave activities, something. And that made him say, nah, fuck this. Because obviously Garp knows, like Garp just like dealt with it. He probably was in the same situation we about to see Dragon go through right now. I think it's about to go, yep, hold on, let me read it. So Dragon said, Lieutenant Commander, what is the purpose of this operation? He said, it's training, and you're in no position to ask questions, rookie. He said, ask questions, rook. He said, but sir, platoon leader, what is this kid's problem? He said, I'm sorry, sir, I'll give him a talking to. Somebody said, oh, you there, what's happening? And they knocked him down. The people screaming, they said, don't resist, just stay put. They pointing the guns at the kids and shit. Somebody said, run for it, they're arresting everybody. He said, but why? Dragon said, they look like normal civilians to me. He said, stop thinking individual thoughts, only distract. Okay, now I'm reading that with no comma. He said, stop thinking. Individual thoughts only distract from the will of the group. Focus on completing the mission. So yeah, like, nigga, you're a soldier. Fall in line, do what you're told. Like, stop using your brain, nigga. So wait, oh, yo, they about to lie to him. I don't think they got tranquilizer rounds in there. They were trying to tell them, like, put the tranks in there. We don't got to kill nobody. Just capture them. I think there's going to be trank rounds in there. Okay. Garp. And yeah, listen, I did see that was another spoiler I seen. That somebody said Dragon, right? They said Dragon looks like Snake Man. I always figured Dragon, and I always thought Dragon looked like Snake Man. I always thought he did, like before this. But yeah, I see what they mean. Like a young Dragon looks a lot more like Snake Man, like in the face. Like his hair is not as long, but in the face, yeah. Cause he got like a younger face and shit. This nigga like a menace though. He said he's thinking in his head. He said they're fine. He said it's fine. They're trank rounds. I'm not killing anybody, right? He said, I'm sorry about this. If you allow us to arrest you, I won't have to shoot. He said, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm leaving the island out of the way. Yeah, okay. And we got Monkey D. Dragon, future Revolutionary Army commander and father of Luffy. Boom, Navy sailor, and Monkey D. Dragon. That's wild. That's wild. So people running. Dragon shot him. I think, yeah, he shot him. Boom, boom. It might be a trank round. It says shoomp, shoomp. That's how the gun sounded. So if it's making that sound effect, it might be a trank. If it was a real gun, it would have said bang. Right? So it made like a little vacuum suction sound, like the trank flying out. Okay. Maybe that's what I'm assuming, right? So they said, put on your masks. We're using tear gas. Yeah, they trying to gas these niggas out. Navy prison ship carrying slaves, in parentheses. Okay, what is this? We hear the Snell phone ringing. Somebody's Snell phone ringing. And battle. Okay, they walking through the communications room. Oh, okay, I think that's Jenny. How did Jenny get on a Navy ship already? Does that make sense? Like how would that make sense? Is the bigger question. That's the bigger question. How would Jenny get on a Navy ship already? Going to God Valley, like where were they from? If I'm remembering correctly, Kuma found them on God Valley. So they're showing us how she even got to God Valley, I guess. How her and maybe she was a slave on the ship. Yeah, she's a slave on the ship. She broke free inside the ship. She's running around, right? Because that wouldn't make no sense. How her? Okay, yeah. See, I'm thinking too hard. If I scroll down, it's right there, right? So yeah, Jenny and what's his name? And Polnareff, right? No, not Polnareff. That's JoJo. Damn, bro. You know who I'm talking about. Come on, bro. So Jenny and the Afro dude, they here. She said, "Hey, bro." He said, "Jenny, you all right?" Yeah, it worked out. The intel agent should come by to get us later. Okay. They said, "Would you kids shut up? Don't ruin things for the rest of us. You're going to get us all punished too." Somebody said, "Punished." Okay, now that's what's his name, Victor, whatever. He said, "You're a fool. We're all going to die if you don't try to learn where the ship is going. And you don't even struggle to survive. What makes you think you'll be lucky enough to make it out? Don't play games with miracles." Okay, hang on. Prisoners are rioting. Now that's about to get them in trouble. Talking about they in there yelling this shit. Somebody said the prisoners are rioting. They about to go in there and beat somebody with a stick or some shit. Yeah, I should chill out in there. See, I didn't know that slaves could be so feisty. Cypherpol Intelligence Agency. Okay. And I should have wrote that thing down earlier. I forgot what it was. I said I was gonna mention it later. Hold on, let me see. Can I get to that? No, I can't even remember what it was. I'm only a couple chapters into, a couple pages in, I should say. I might keep the notepad open real quick. Okay, my bad. Okay, so yeah, Kuma's on the ship, right? He says, "I didn't know that slaves could be so feisty." So we're flashing over to somewhere else. So we're flashing over to the Cypherpol Intelligence Agency, okay? They said, "Oh yeah, you heard some incredible intel. What is it this time?" And it's Big News Morgan. He said, "Don't play dumb. I know you people picked it up too. Now pay me. You want me to sit on this scoop, don't you?" Hey, Big News Morgan got the scoop. It's big news. They said, how does some kid's local paper with a fancy name get an intel network like that? Careful or they'll snuff you out. He said, "Quahaha, just try it." Either way, I'm leaking this to Pirate Island. He's thinking in his head. He said, "Either way, I'm leaking this shit to Pirate Island. I'm gonna let them know. Either way, even if you pay me to give you the news, Pirate Island gonna get this shit leaked, nigga. I didn't do it." So Big News Morgan, ugly as hell, starting trouble. Like that shit is funny. Morgan's president of the World Economic Journal. That's what he called his shit, the World Economic Journal. Yo, he set himself up. He set himself up, gave himself a big name, made himself big news. You couldn't ignore him, right? I'm big news, so okay. Now they're still lamenting at Pirate Island, but they're kind of celebrating. They said, "So Shaq, he's still alive?" "Still alive? Are you serious? Where's she now? What a relief. God Valley, where's that?" This dude said, "That seems fishy. You sure about your sources?" Nah, it's like, of course he's saying that, right? He ratted everybody out. You could tell he did. He had that money. He made that money when Shaq got kidnapped. Now that they know where she's at, he's getting scared. I forget his name, but you know who he is. The dude with the triple decker neck. The triple decker neck. I'm not talking about the Admiral, okay? It's the one dude. Okay, so that's Stussy. She said the Navy's been taking action, so it seems solid. They said she's surprised in the Celestial Dragon's game, So that makes whoever kidnapped her, that means whoever kidnapped her was with the world government. They said, damn it. And Golden Lion screaming out Shaggy's name with hearts in his eyes. Like, people probably mad that people like him are looking like idiots over Shaggy. Here go Whitebeard. He says the Celestial Dragon's manhunt. I always thought that was just a tall tale. Okay, so like, that's what I'm saying, right? There's certain pieces of information going on in this past world. That's what I've been saying this whole time, right? Certain people don't even know that celestial dragons and the Navy are doing things on a certain scale. Like Whitebeard just said, like, it's the Celestial Dragon's manhunt. I always thought that was just a tall tale. So a nigga like him even thought, like, you know, he doesn't really know everything. Like, he definitely doesn't know that Emu exists on the throne. He probably doesn't care, or the whole idea of the throne of the world isn't even in his mind, probably, if he even heard about it, right? Somebody like Rocks, he's thinking about all of that, and he knows about all of that, and that all of that is a part of his plan, his bigger plan, you feel me? So, okay. So, we got Big Mom here sitting here. She said, they've got devil fruits too, Kaido. She said, you wanted one, didn't you? He said, what powers are they? Could they be... Oh, yeah, okay, no, this is her. She said, could they be good for my kids too? So she might, yeah, there's going to be a couple of devil fruits there. Who knows, like, what devil fruit she's going to get from here? Because we know she already has Mother Carmel's devil fruit, possibly because she ate Mother Carmel herself, right? That's the only way, you know what I mean? That's the assumption. She ate Mother Carmel. So she has her power anyway. And would that make Big Mom a cannibal? Does she eat other people too? Let's not go there, right? She might be eating motherfuckers. Okay. But they said, and you're sure it's not a trap? Somebody said that, you know, Rocks, they say, you sure this ain't a trap, bro? They got Shaggy on display. He said, shut up. If you're not committed, stay here. The rest of us are going to God Valley. The Roger Pirates. All right, we go over to Roger and them boys, right? He said, hey, Gabon, where's God Valley? He said, not close, but I'll make sure we're in time. We're going, right, boys? They said, no question. Okay, now Rayleigh, now all of a sudden, right? You know, now all of a sudden, Rayleigh pumped up, right? Rayleigh pumped up. Like, Rayleigh, he talk all that shit, right? He could talk his shit. He said, nigga, I ain't worried. This, that, boom, 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 blah, blah, blah. As soon as he saw her in the paper, that nigga said, Shaggy? He's like, whoa, Shaggy? What? Now he yelling with the boys. He said, no question. Like, I'm pulling up. That's Shaggy. So Rayleigh pulling up. Rocks is pulling up. Roger pulling up. Roger said, so Rocks is on the move. Don't let him get the jump on us. They said it took just the tiniest bit of classified intel to set all of the fiercest warriors of the sea, to set off all the fiercest warriors of the sea. Oh, my bad. Yeah, then we got Garp over here. He said we didn't think that Roger would get involved. Okay, then this is the same, you know, this is the same flashback piece that we've been seeing, right? With Roger, I mean, my bad. That nigga Garp on vacation. And then they told him, like, bro, some shit popping off at God Valley. The Rocks Pirates are there. He said, bro, I don't give a fuck. I got some people to deal with that. I don't, you know, send some people there. They said, bro, but Roger pulling up. He said, bro, what? Roger? Nah, never mind. You should have said that. So, you know, this flashback is successfully bleeding together the other pieces of information we knew about God Valley. But it's giving it more context, okay? It's putting it into context with the, you know, whether or not Oda decided to write certain things different. You know, I don't know why my screen keeps doing that. I'm in the full screen, and sometimes it just blacks out. What the fuck is going on? But whatever. As long as the stream is still up, right? But now we're flashing over. They say it's a giant ship. Who cares? Sink them. No, wait. What is it, Rocks? Don't slow us down. Wait. Okay, no, then that's Rox's crew telling him, wait, nah, hold on, bro. Don't sink that ship yet, you know. And this is Harold's crew, okay? He said, I was told to stop a certain pirate crew that was infatuated with a single woman, Rox. If we make use of our strength, it would be child's play to sink your tiny ship. Do you see that boat in the distance? We've got government monitors. Okay. He said, and you think that, okay, he said, you think this is winning you points with the world government? Don't underestimate what we can do, king of the giant oafs. He said, does it please you to serve the government that sits on a comfortable perch and watches us destroy one another? I suppose it does, because you're the madman who wants to change Elbaf no matter what. Now, can we talk in private? And now they pouring up some drinks, right? Boom, he pouring up that Elbaf sake. Yep. That good old Elbaf rum. He said, I'm sure you've heard where we're going and why. Well, I'm only going to tell you this. Wait, what do you say? Okay, now, well, I'm only going to tell this next part to you. It's not even for my own crew to hear. Well, he about to let him in on a secret, right? He said, what is his the Elbaf pirate crew? They said, what is his majesty talking about over there? Okay, nah, this is Rox's crew. They getting mad. Somebody said, "Wala-di-da." He's having a toast while my beloved Shaki's waiting to be executed. And he said, the truth is, I've got a hidden name. Davy D. Zabek. Davy D. Zabek. That is what I heard. Literally yesterday. Hopping on Twitter one time. And that's like the first fucking thumbnail. First picture that pops up. When you open Twitter, bro. As soon as I open Twitter. So, that's crazy. We're going to talk about that later. So he said it's not Rocks. So if you got to remember, right? Davy would have been his last name, right? And Rocks would have been his last name. Just like how it's Monkey D. Luffy. Monkey is not Luffy's first name, right? So Rocks D. Zabek. Rocks was not always his first name. Rocks is his last name, but people call the Pirate Spider last name. They be calling them by their last name sometime, their first name or whatever, right? Or they call them by their moniker, Straw Hat Luffy. They'll just call him straight up like that, right? So Zabek is his first name. Rocks is not even his last name. It's really Davy. So he's Davy. He's from the Davy clan, and he's a D clan member. So let's see what the fuck this means. He said it's the name of a clan that I suspect the world government has long tried to cover up. The descendants of the legendary pirate Davy D. Jones. Oh shit. Okay, listen. We always kind of knew he was a descendant of Davy D. Jones. But the descendants of the legendary pirate Davy D. Jones. We took root in the criminal underworld and continue to eke out a living even today. So he knows, so like that's why. That itself might be why. He is a whole bigger picture than he knows. He might have left Blackbeard a journal, something. Or some way, some information, or some way to know and seek out his clan truth and all that, so he can learn everything about himself, right? Because I'm sure Rocks knows who his father is. He has the same goal. I mean, Blackbeard knows he knows his father is Rocks, right? He knows this is back. So yeah, the way he's talking right now, talking about we took root in the criminal underworld to eke out a living. Like he knows his whole past, he knows all of that shit, right? So now he's saying, you see, my timing was either great or terrible. You see, 2 years ago, this is around before Shaggy got kidnapped. Like right around then. He said, my timing was either great or terrible. See, 2 years ago, I had a kid. And to make sure that danger couldn't befall them both, I sent my wife and my child to my homeland. Oh, is this the peculiar, strange thing that Garland figured out? That the Davy clan exists on God Valley. Now, I don't know if he's the rest of his clan, if it's a clan that he said his clan has eked out a living for himself. His clan went to the underworld. Are there multiple different members of the Davy clan? Did they all die in God Valley except for Blackbeard? We're about to find that out too, I guess, right? He said he sent his wife and his child to his homeland and told them to seek the Davy clan for help. So the Davy clan is, yeah, they're in God Valley. His Davy clan's in God Valley. He said, I see. So your kin and your wife and child are there in your homeland. Then why would you admit this exploitable weakness to me? He said, my home is God Valley. Boom. Okay, that shit zoomed out. Boom. So his home is God Valley, bro. And the Davy clan exists in God Valley. And Garland found out the Davy clan is alive. I think, did he have Garland might have had kids with a Davy clan member. So Shanks, Figureland is not his real, like Shanks' real last name. Shanks is Davy D. Shanks, bro. It's Davy D. Shanks. It's Davy D. Shanks, bro. Davy D. Shamrock. Damn, bro. That's what I'm thinking. Let's keep reading though. He says, so the government did this as a means to lure you into their clutches. He said, nah, the celestial dragons are covering on that. No, he said, nah, the celestial dragons are converging on that island. They don't want me coming there. That was a miscalculation on their part. It feels as though some great act of fate is pulling all the strings behind the scenes. Kidnapping Shaggy was a fatal mistake. See, look at. He said that some great act of fate. I feel like Emu, bro. Emu was doing that, bro. Emu did this. He found out. He knows who Rox is. He knows the Davy clan. He said, fuck it. Boom, we gonna arrange some shit at God Valley. He probably tipped somebody off and he's controlling shit somehow, bro. I don't know. It's headcanon though. Let's keep reading. So, kidnapping Shaggy was their fatal mistake, he says. As long as my wife and kid escape, I don't care about the rest. Okay, so he said it right now. He don't care about Shaggy no more. Like that. Like, yeah, I mean, you probably want to, save Shaggy just because, but he like, nah, fuck that. I got priorities now. He said, whoever side fortune is on, Harold, it doesn't feel like mine. So lend me your aid. Harold making this stank face like, damn, why the fuck he asking me this? He said, I refuse. I'd rather sink your ship right now. He said, so that's your choice, so be it. And the men was about to attack him. He said, don't attack him. Damn, he let that nigga blow his ship up. Though hard to believe, once every 3 years. He said, you soft coward, because he let Rox go. He could have killed Rox. So I think we both know, based on what Rox said too, like the giant crew could have sunk his whole ship. They could have sunk the whole ship, even though his whole crew is strong. They got giants all on the crew. But Harold submitted. They said, though hard to believe, once every 3 years, the celestial dragons choose an island rich in resources and unfulfilled with the government. Oh yeah, he did say that last time. He said that before, and we know that that's the islands they choose. So the fact that last chapter Garland said that, he was already setting the stage for the thing, right? He was setting the stage. Like, we know it was God Valley. We know the manhunt was going to start there. But I forgot that like the fact that it needs to be an island rich in resources and unfulfilled with the government. That's the ones they look for. And they carry out a manhunt game. They're slaughtering all the natives. And everybody's screaming. In God Valley, they said, help somebody. Somebody help. This can't be happening. I'm assuming they already kidnapped everybody, right? So in addition to the rare and exotic devil fruits, we have a grand prize at the event. This is the day of the God Valley incident. We're finally at the day of God Valley. They said, hailing from the Isle of Women within the calm belt of the Grand Line, the previous empress of the Amazons, praised as the most beautiful woman in the world. Her name is Shaku Yaku. Everybody screaming, oh, so yeah, she hot as hell. Everybody screaming. They said, take her for a wife or make her a slave. The decision is yours. The choice is yours. He said, well, she's so beautiful, I want her. She was kept in pristine condition after being caught. So they made sure ain't nothing happened to her, ain't nothing go wrong. She's being treated fine, nobody touched her. These niggas is sick. Okay, they said she's perfect. Went and bring her into the Shepherd family. Summers. So Summers Shepherd, that's his last name. Shepherd, somebody screaming at, bring her into the Shepherd family, Summers. He said, don't be stupid. If I win, she's my slave. She's my slave. They want, the whole family say, yo, we want her for the family, bro. Let me use her, bro. Yeah, if we win, let me use her, bro. They said, she's my wife. Stop dreaming, Summers. Okay. And they said, yeah, that was Garland. He said, she's my wife. Stop dreaming, Summers. And somebody right here with the hat, she said, with you here, Gunko, we might win a trophy in the family competition. So, whatever family she's from, I feel like it's gonna be the, is it gonna be the family name that Emu had? Was it Narona? I think it was Narona. Is it the Narona clan? Maybe? Because Gunko definitely works for Emu. I don't know. Gunko's right there. This is obviously after, way after she knew Brooke and shit too still. Way after that. So we get the dragon walking into a room. She said, please let my children off this island. Don't let him have them. So somehow she ran away after she got stabbed. And he told the Marines to come and, get the children and all that. They ran off. Okay, this is Teach's mom. Okay. So she said, come here, Teach. It's all right. So Teach he's a little older than Shanks, but they both like kids around here. He's 2 years older than Shanks, maybe. He's about 2 years older than Shanks. So his mom said, come here, Teach. It's all right. You got to live through this. Okay, it's back at God Valley. Yep, they said, lastly, every world noble is aware of them. In addition to the Buccaneer boy serving as a super rare rabbit in this contest, we have another target who's been found at long last after 800 years, the Davy clan. That's the special thing that Garland found. Okay. Now, first of all, let me do what I usually do, right? Let me go through, take my screenshots, okay? I take my screenshots, post-reading chapter. And then I'll talk about the chapter and trim it out and make it a YouTube video. Take my couple of screenshots. Alright. I need the right ones, right? I need to see. Garland is sick, right? Garland is sick. He doesn't care. He killed her in cold blood. Got her up out of here, okay? And go back through. You know, Kid Dragon was just standing there like, what the hell is going on, bro? Big News Morgan. Okay, hold on, a couple more screenshots, and then I'll be able to, I'll talk about the chapter. So Kuma was a slave, so they took these slaves from Mary Joie, I'm assuming. They took them from Mary Joie because Kuma was a child slave in Mary Joie. And then he never escaped from there until he got taken to God Valley. So Jenny as a kid was enslaved in Mary Joie, and she got kidnapped later as an adult and brought back. Terrible. Hold on, real quick. This is crazy, okay. Couple more screenshots, and now I can talk about the chapter, post-chapter. Actually, I'm gonna take some bigger ones this time. Let's take a bigger screenshot of the whole page this time. I'm talking about his home is God Valley. I need that screenshot. It's all right. I'm gonna talk about this chapter, post-chapter. All right. And this is the last screenshot. Boom. All right. Now, let me do this, right? I gotta go full screen in a second. Take you up to the full screen, And take you up to the full screen. All right. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me take a little sip of this water. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I don't even know where to start. But this is the part, if you've seen me do this shit before, I'm about to talk about the whole chapter. Like I'm making a YouTube video live, because that's what I'm about to do, right? I'm gonna trim this shit out. I'm gonna trim this part out, upload it. I like to, do all that shit in one video anyway, so. I don't even know where to start, because the chapter was crazy, but. Let's start like I usually do, okay? Listen. So I just got done reading chapter 1159 of One Piece. The cover page, we're still seeing Yamato. I know a lot of people don't like that. They want to be done with this. At this point, it's whatever. Like, we're getting something. At least it's progressing, you know what I'm saying? It's moving forward. They're going back home. OT and page 1's on her team, okay? They're sticking with her. So the chapter starts up back in Hachinosu, Pirate Island. Shaggy got kidnapped. Now, they put emphasis on, so even Don Marlin couldn't keep her safe. Like, how strong is Don Marlin? Like, they put emphasis on that shit. Like, if Don couldn't keep Shaggy safe, it's a wrap. So, yeah, Shaggy got kidnapped. Everybody's in turmoil, crying. I knew instantly that, another character's name I'm forgetting. He's the ancestor to, or the father to, the other character, his name I'm forgetting. But we know the slimy dude who tried to kidnap the mermaid princess, right? So, obviously, he has something to do with Shaggy being kidnapped. That's what it seems like. Look at him, right? He's happy as hell. And later on, when they found out where Shaggy was, he got a little, nervous and all that. So they're showing the whole world's reaction to Shaggy get kidnapped, right? It was in the newspaper. Roger's mad at Rocks. for letting Shaggy get kidnapped. And even Rayleigh is finally having, a little reaction to all that, right? He's starting to like be concerned and shit, right? So next we go over to Garland coming back home to his wife. Now I thought this was going to be a little nice moment, honey, I'm home. Nah, Garland's not on that shit. She's talking to him like, oh yeah, these are your kids. He even said, oh, they're adorable. She said, yes, they're yours. Now you can live here. He said, oh, if they're living anywhere, it won't be here. This island's going to be destroyed. Like he's talking real casual about blowing the island up, killing everybody. And he stabs her. So yeah, I should have expected that. I thought he was going to be a little nicer, but nah, he's evil still. Okay. So, and there's something else I noticed. I'll mention that later. But I know last chapter, I was wondering, what did Garland mean that he found something peculiar on God Valley? Like, what was he referring to? Now we know later on, he's talking about the D clan, or the Davy clan, I should say, not the D clan, but the Davy clan, who are also D clan members. You got two things going on with you. You're the Davy clan, but then you're also a part of the D clan. So I'll get in on that later, but we see Young Dragon, okay? Young Dragon and the Navy storming the island, okay? Now, the Navy told them to use the tranquilizer rounds, but it doesn't make what they're doing feel any more right to somebody like Dragon. So, and let me say one more thing before I get into this, right? Like, I always figured that we would get a moment. Like, I know everybody knew we would see Navy Dragon, but I always figured it would have to be a moment where we see him like involved in some of the slavery shit or like, something like that. And he's like, nah, this is wrong. Like the whole island's on fire in front of him. He's staring at it like, nah, I can't do this no more. Like, so I always thought like, yo, what moment did Garp, like I know Garp went through the same type of moments that Young Dragon's going through right now. And it's like, Garp is just different. He didn't give a fuck. He still did it. He's still going through. He just bit the bullet and endured. Like this dude told him stop thinking individual thoughts that only distract from the will of the group. Garp probably said, okay, yes, sir. Dragon's not feeling that shit. So he's apologizing for shooting people, So yeah, and then there was another thing, right? So not Garp, Dragon. I seen people saying he looks like Snake Man. I've kind of always thought he looked like Snake Man, right? I always thought that was like the correlation because I always wondered, Dragon looks so different from Luffy and he looks so different from Garp and, in their design and all that. But when I seen Snake Man, I'm like, yo, Snake Man looks like Dragon, bro. Now we see Young Dragon, it's kind of there even more. With the young face, he looks like Snake Man a whole lot now, so then we get over here to Jenny and I forget his name too. The Russian name is like Empolyov or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. This dude right here, right? So we're seeing them arrive in the God Valley. Given the flashback we had, I always thought they were already at God Valley and Kuma arrived there, but no, they all arrived at the same time on the boat. And Kuma, I didn't get the screenshot of Kuma, but Kuma was on the boat too. It seems like he's seen them before, right? He's seen them before. So I'm thinking, since Kuma was a slave at Mary Joie on the Holy Land, and this ship is a world government ship, I'm assuming they took people from Mary Joie just to put them in that game, just to do that. So they knew they had a Buccaneer kid slave. They could have killed Kuma at home. But they said, you know what, fuck it, let's throw him in this game where we kill all the slaves. We get off him there. I don't know why they decided to do that, but yeah, they're delivering slaves just to like put him in this game in the first place, right? So even back then, he's all yelling and all that, big head and everything, right? So we get the Big News Morgan. Funny ass design with the lazy eyes and shit. He look high as hell, but Big News Morgan, okay? And he got the scoop even back then. Now he's threatening people like, yo, you want this news? I got the special information. I know stuff other people don't know. They say, yo, be careful or they're going to snuff you out. He's not even worried about it, you know. And he's gonna sell them the news, but he's also gonna leak it to Pirate Island anyway. So he's stirring shit up. He could be the cause for a lot of shit. Oh, I did take the screenshot of Kuma, by the way. So Kuma's there. He said, I didn't know slaves could be so feisty. So Kuma, obviously, he saw Jenny and, what's his name, before. He met them on God Valley. He saw them before. They must have all known each other already, right? We didn't really see that too much, I don't think. So then we go back to Hachinosu. They find out Shaki's alive. And this is what I was talking about earlier, right? Dude's face. Obviously, he sold Shaki out, right? Like, I think that's just obvious. He doesn't want anybody to know, even that it's on God Valley, because then they're gonna expect him to pull up with them, and he don't want to pull up to God Valley. He sold Shaki out. He's not trying to pull up, you know. So I already know. I didn't see it, but I already know people are gonna be mad at the fact that a character like him is having heart eyes and crying and is making a stupid face. Even his cigar got heart smoke coming out of it. People get mad at that shit. I don't know why. It's not that big of a deal. But they worried about that too much, okay? A lot of people worry about that. So, this right here is something I've been talking about. This is something a little more like noteworthy to mention, okay? Because I've been saying this whole time. Since we've been seeing Rocks and since he pulled up in the throne room, I've been saying that Rocks in this era and this time, and just like even throughout the history of the pirates being pirates, right? A lot of people don't really know the deeper truths of the world government and the Navy, right? So somebody like Rocks, the fact that he can pull up to the throne room, yeah, not only is that a feat and telling how strong and capable he is, but just the fact that he knows a throne room exists to pull up on is the bigger picture, I think, that you should be looking at. The fact that he knows of the concept of the whole, the throne above the world, the empty throne that somebody sits on, actually. Like Whitebeard, right here, a prolific pirate, he says it himself, it's the Celestial Dragon's manhunt. I always thought that was just a tall tale. He didn't even know for sure that was a thing. Like that's like a rumor that the Navy is freezing people and that they kidnap people and they got slaves and they set people up to kill them and all this and all that. And then even if you do know about it, you're not worried about that shit. You're a pirate. You're trying to get your treasure. You're getting your loot. You conquering the seas and doing your thing. So nobody has that bigger picture at this time in this era. I'm not saying nobody else aside from Rocks, but later on we're going to get into the deeper reason as to why that makes more sense. Why Rocks even knows all of that shit, right? Because I've been thinking that this whole time, like, yo, I think Rocks knows a lot more than anybody else in that era does. That's why he talks to Harold the way he does. Like, he knows exactly how shit's gonna pan out. He knows when the victor is like about to win. Like, he knows that he can take down Emu. He knows that Harold trying to work with the world government, he knows exactly how it's gonna end, what they're gonna do to his people, how they view his people. He knows all of that shit. The shit that Harold isn't even thinking about, and he had to find out and see and learn, right? So that was the perfect example of that. I said that in the beginning too, like when we seen the giant pirates, like the way they walk around the seas and try to conquer the seas and the mindset they have, they just got the complete pirate warrior mindset. The world is so closed off. I'm not saying Whitebeard's world is closed off, but he's only focused on what he's focused on. Rocks wants the world. He's trying to take the whole world and shit, right? So he's been seeing a bigger picture. So we get over to here to him saying, we're going to God Valley. A lot of people are scared. They don't want to go. But, he assumes they are, right? He's like, if you're scared, you can stay home. People are crying and complaining, but they excited to get Shaki. And this is what I was saying earlier, too. Even Silver, Rayleigh, is getting hyped up. Like, nah, fuck that. We going to get Shaki. So, like, yeah, he's going to pull up. Everybody been saying, like, yo, Rayleigh might fight Garland. Shit, that shit might happen. Rayleigh might fight Garland, okay? He just might fight Garland. And then this flashback that we've been getting, not only did this flashback start up with Loki only telling us about how his father died and it slowly started drifting off into God Valley. We're finally here at the day of God Valley. But it's also connecting to the other small pieces that we've seen about God Valley in the past. Like when we seen those panels of, Garp laying down at the beach, and he got that call on the phone talking about, we need you to pull up at God Valley. That's why we didn't even see the full sentence here. He just said, you should have led with that next time, because they said Roger was there. We've seen the whole panel before. I don't need to run down it, but they're just connecting all of the things we've seen before here and there about God Valley. So we got Rox pulling up on Harold. And, they're enemies, but they still kind of like friends and shit. So, like, Harold is not sinking the ship instantly, even though he told him, I could sink your ship. It would be child's play. I think him saying this and Rox, I think Rox acknowledges that too, right? Rox is aware of that. So I think people can stop trying to power scale that shit. Harold could have sunk the whole ship. I believe that when he said it. I think Rox acknowledges that shit too. So he could have sunk the ship, but they're on the sort of thing that they're on, where they're going to have this mutual respect for each other and whatnot, right? So they start drinking and talking. Rox's crew got mad, whatever. The important part here is that he reveals his true name is Davy D. Xebec, right? And if you remember, Monkey D. Luffy, Monkey is not his first name. So I don't know if you don't remember, I don't know if you remember, but I'm just going to say anyway, Davy was never his first name. Rox was never his first name. Davy isn't his new first name, right? Xebec was always his first name. Rox was his presumed last name before. But now we know he's from the Davy clan. And he's also a D member. So it's Davy D. Xebec. So his son would be Davy D. Teach. He mentions how the Davy clan has been a clan that the world government has been trying to pursue for like 800 years, since the Void Century, okay? So that's some of the loose ends of the Void Century the world government has been trying to tie up, along with things like Nika, Joy Boy, all that sort of shit. They've been trying to also pursue that devil fruit for about the same amount of time. So the Davy clan is going back to the Void Century, and they might have known Joy Boy. They might have been really important. Davy Jones might have been on Nika's crew, or Joy Boy's crew. Not Nika. Nika wasn't a pirate as far as we know. But Davy Jones could have been on Joy Boy's crew, right? Along with Emeth and, everybody else he had. So we don't know that. He said his clan took root in the criminal underworld, and they continue to eke out a living until this day. So as soon as I read that, I knew that there had to be other clan members. And he also kind of doubles down on that later. He said that he sent his wife and his child to his home and told them to seek out the Davy clan. We find out his home. I almost said his house. We find out his home is God Valley, right? So what does this mean? I immediately thought of what Garland said last chapter. Garland was talking about, I found something peculiar at God Valley. He was talking about the Davy clan. We know that to be true now because of the final page of the chapter. They added, in addition to the super rare rabbit, talking about Kuma, they're using him as bait in the contest to kill him. So they got a super rare rabbit who's a Buccaneer boy. We got Shakiyaku, who you can win as your wife or make her a slave if you win the tournament, right? They want to fight over her. They got how many devil fruits is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They got 9 devil fruits up for grabs. And that's the only ones we see. They could have more, who knows? But they got 9 devil fruits up for grabs. They got Shakuyaku. They got a Buccaneer. And they found the Davy clan. Okay, they didn't say we found a member. They say they found the whole clan. So you know what I immediately thought? I thought, Garland decided to have a kid on God Valley. Why did he decide to have a child on God Valley? He didn't just do this out of like because he wanted to like have a wife. He doesn't care about the bitch. Like he doesn't care. Look what he did. He doesn't care. He wants to take the kids back to the Holy Land with him. I think that Garland's wife is also a Davy clan member. I think that the people, the inhabitants of God Valley, there's a lot of Davy clan members at God Valley. So I think his wife is a Davy clan member. What does that mean? That means Figureland is not Shanks's true last name, or maybe you could say not his only last name, right? That would mean that Shanks's name is Davy D. Shanks, and you got Davy D. Shamrock. That's what I think. I don't know. That could be a super strong theory. I'm leaping off the edge with that one. I don't know, but hey, that might be Davy D. Shamrock and Davy D. Shanks. They're half Davy, half D clan members. I think that's what's going on right there. I don't know, but I'm just saying that, right? Aside from that, I don't think there's anything else to talk about. Teach, okay, listen, I could say something about Teach, right? Teach, we just found out he's a Davy clan member. In the future, he wants the same thing as his father. So I know a lot of people were saying that Rocks put his soul inside of Teach, or he reincarnated. And then, listen, he's a little baby. He had the kid 2 years ago. I don't think he put his soul anywhere, bro. I think he might have instilled, like he told him something. He could have gave him a little book when he escaped God Valley, because Blackbeard's not going to become a slave. He's going to escape God Valley. I'm pretty sure we know this shit, right? He escapes God Valley either with Whitebeard or, somebody else, right? Whatever. But he's going to leave. And I think Rocks might leave him with a book. He might just be left with like a journal, the journal of Zebek. Zebek's diary. It might be some shit like that. It could be the diary that was passed down to even Zebek himself. He could have like, it could be the Book of Davy or some shit. I don't know, right? But I think obviously Blackbeard is fully aware of his lineage in the future. You know what I'm saying? Even though all of this shit's happening, he's like 2 years old. Later on, he's fully aware of his lineage. He knows who his father is. He's walking around, talking about conquering the world the same way Rocks is, and he's trying to get multiple devil fruits. And what's up with that, right? Rocks is talking about getting multiple devil fruits the same way Blackbeard is. That might be the secret of the Davy clan. They can hold multiple devil fruits, or they know how to hold multiple devil fruits. I don't know. It could be in the Book of Davy. Okay, he probably has the Book of Davy on his ship with him right now. Maybe that shit is always in his pocket. The Book of Davy is always in his pocket. He never lets that shit go anywhere. I don't know. That's another theory. That shit's not real. But we see Summers here. He wants her as a slave. Garland wants her as a wife. Like I said, I don't think there's anything else to talk about. If I think anything else I forgot, I'll leave it in the comment down below. But yeah, Blackbeard, he knows the bigger picture. He knows that, he knows that somebody's ruling the world. And like he said, his timing was off. He had a kid at God Valley. He's going to die at God Valley for his kid and his wife. If he didn't die at God Valley, he probably could have did what he was trying to do this whole time, man. He could have did it. And now we're starting to see actually exactly how God Valley is shaping up, okay? It's not as simple as Roger and Garp teaming up against the Rocks pirate crew. It's not as simple as that at all, okay? Because think about that too, right? That's what we were told before. We were told that Roger and Garp teams up, at least in general, right? That's what the world government said. That's what the narrator was saying when Sengoku was talking about it, or Sengoku himself said it, either one, right? That's what we were led to believe. Garp even says, like, you know what, Roger's there? Fuck that. Why wouldn't you tell me that? So that's even implying that he's going there for Roger. How would they end up teaming up together? How is that going to look? especially with like the Celestial Dragons and the Gods Knights. They're there too. They're all there. If they seen Garp team up with a pirate, I mean, I guess they didn't care, right? He still protected the slaves. I don't know. But then how did Shaggy get free? If they protected the slaves, how did Shaggy escape? And how did Kuma escape? There's a lot of questions, man. If Garp and Roger protected the slaves at God Valley, how did Shakiyaku get free? How did Kuma get free? How did Jenny escape? And her brother. How did that happen? How did Teach escape? We need the questions, man. We need the answers. I got the questions. Okay, yep. That's it. I think I'm gonna cut the video here. I'm gonna upload this to YouTube. If I think anything else, I'll drop it in the comments. But I'm out.